latest data shows temperatures soaring out of control. Behold!
That's just a bunch of numbers.
Very bad numbers. The ice cube's not cutting it anymore. We face global extinction if we don't act now.
Climate change is inevitable. The Earth is heating up, and scientists must find a solution before a greater catastrophe unfolds. The episode kicks off at Planet Express, where everyone's getting ready for a natural tan straight from the sun's rays. The only one not so thrilled is Hermes. He doesn't need it. Still, he goes along with it, until the professor shows up to interrupt. That day, they've got a special assignment. Every once in a while, they have to drop a giant ice cube to help keep global warming under control, and it's time to launch a new one. So the crew heads to the Arctic, where they see the cube they dropped last time, already melting away. Suddenly, a few baby bears show up.
Back you beast!
Stop that! Leave those poor cubs alone.
I know what I'm doing. I'm a bear biologist. Take this, you freaks!
Fry can't just leave them there. Remembering how, in his time, polar bears were nearly driven to extinction, he decides to adopt the cubs, since their mother isn't around anymore. Meanwhile, the professor measures the ice cube to figure out when the next one should be released to keep the Arctic waters cool. Back at Planet Express, he receives new data about the ice, and not realizing that their own ship melted it, he becomes convinced the planet is facing a climate crisis. Later, the big event to fight climate change takes place, an annual gathering just outside Earth, where hundreds of scientists meet to discuss how to save the planet. The zero emissions plan never worked. No country followed it, except Aruba, but that's only because it's already underwater thanks to global warming. And, well, Miami's basically there too. The professor arrives just in time to warn everyone about EarthSip's supposed climate emergency, since the ice cube system is never working anymore. But most scientists brush it off, preferring to listen to another well-known figure, Dr. Banjo.
Numbers can say anything, depending on who's paying you. Earth's too hot, Earth's too cold.
These numbers say too hot.
Oh, really? Who's paying you, Professor? Big Earth?
We haven't seen temperatures spike like this in 1,000 years, since the climatastrophe.
Dr. Banjo argues the numbers aren't really that bad. In fact, he believes they were manipulated just to scare people and tarnish the reputation of hardworking men and women in the noble pollution industry. Meanwhile, Fry decides to sneak away with the bear cubs to feed them, since things are starting to get tense.
On behalf of the religious community, whatever happens is the Lord's will. God made us mortal that we might leave this problem to future generations.
At the main orbitorium, he tries to teach his new cubs how to fish, but they'd rather snack on candy. Back at the conference, no one takes the professor seriously, not because they disagree, but because nobody understands the numbers, or just can't be bothered. And these are supposed to be scientists. Amy comes up with a better idea. If numbers feel boring, why not show them in a more visual way? She turns the raw data into a chart, making it crystal clear that EarthSip's temperature is rising at an alarming rate.
Why didn't you show us this before?
I did show you before. It's the same data with lipstick on it.
I owe you an apology, Professor. Even a fool can see the temperature is rising to an unacceptable level. And Mama Banjo didn't raise any fools. Except my idiot brother, Mr. Fiddle.
Now that everyone sits worried, the professor urges them to take action right away. But of course, one scientist stands in his way, his lifelong nemesis, Wernstrom.
We must maintain hope.
But there is no hope.
Well, in that case, let's get looting.
Hand me a brick, would ya?
Just when things seem hopeless, Fry steps in. Now that he's a mom, he pleads with them, not to save humanity since people can't stand each other anyway, but to save the baby animals.
So let's work together to save Earth. Not for ourselves, but for these adorable baby bears, Pig, and Stupid Face.
I named them. Bear biologist.
His words move the entire crowd. And so, what does humanity do when there seems to be no way out? Well, they write a song hoping everyone will join in and face the problem together. Soon they're all singing, and some even whip up pro-animal propaganda, though ironically, that only produces more greenhouse gases. The professor shakes his head. To him, none of this is helping. That sips when Banjo comes up with a new idea, block out some of the sun sips rays to cool the planet down.
I suggest a louder song.
Please, no! Just let the Earth burn!
Professor Farnsworth also comes up with an idea. In the past, volcanic eruptions filled the skies with ash, blocking out the sun and cooling the planet. So that's the plan. Trigger a volcano to recreate the same effect.
These preserved relics are incredible.
Si, signore. Mount Vesuvius, she exploded in 79 AD like a microwave calzone, smothering other people in a rich ragu of ash. We honor the fallen heroes by leaving them in place for touristi who take selfies with the corpses.
With the plan in motion, the crew heads to a volcano so massive and powerful that in ancient times it wiped out an entire civilization. In fact, there are still a few people preserved there as if frozen in time. The idea is simple. Go deep inside the volcano and pour in a reflective substance so it mixes with the ash. That way, sunlight will bounce off and help lower Earth's temperature. The mission is so critical that all the media gather in Pompeii, right by the volcano. The next step? Drop a bomb, some baking soda, and vinegar into the lava to trigger the eruption, and just for good measure, sprinkle in some glitter, but that last touch ends up backfiring as it blocks their way out. The volcano erupts, and everyone outside assumes the crew is dead. Ash rains down, covering the crowd, but the massive plume left behind seems to be working. Luckily, the ship manages to escape at the last second, and just like that, their risky plan to cool the Earth turns out to be a success.
Fry! Are you okay?
It's amazing what we can accomplish when we put aside our differences.
Someday we might conquer disease, poverty, even death itself. Develop bananas of unthinkable size and tastiness.
Ooh, we'll start with that one.
Later, Fry feels a bit down. He believes that if people in his own time had access to the kind of information they have now, so many disasters could have been avoided.
Those poor innocent morons.
That's when the professor notices something he had overlooked. The chart Amy showed earlier was from the year 2025, not 3025. When they check the actual data, they discover that yes, Earth's temperature was rising, but gradually, not nearly enough to justify activating a volcano. The ice alone would have been enough. Still, the job is already done, and thanks to the ash cloud, this year there won't sit be a white Christmas, but rather a slightly acidic one.
Toxic ash mixed with acid snow. Should we try to fix this maybe? Then risk another Calculon song? No, thank you.
Just then, the baby bear's mother shows up to reclaim her cubs. Fry is heartbroken, but he has no choice but to watch as his little ones leave, chasing after Zoidberg in the process. And that sips how the episode comes to an end.